This is Meteo Mundo.
Hi everyone, Rusty back here with your latest Meteo Mundo forecast for this Wednesday. I hope you're having a great day. We have got some big concerns in portions of the area that we cover, mainly the Bahamas. There is going to be some very foul weather, wind and rain and storms and rough surf and sea conditions moving into the Bahamas here over the next 5 days. And then there'll be some other areas we talk about with some high rainfall potentials as well. So in this video, how I kind of want to do this is we're going to focus first on what's happening through the Bahamas. We're going to break down kind of all the things there because this is an area that's going to be on high alert through the weekend. Then I'll go back and take a look at the rest of the Caribbean forecast as well. So stick around for that. Again, as we get started, thank you so much for liking the video. If you want the latest forecast across the Caribbean and the Bahamas, make sure you subscribe. So this is the visible satellite imagery on this Wednesday afternoon. And again, what we're going to be seeing is a very strong area of low pressure developing in the Gulf of Mexico over the next couple of days that'll be moving across Florida and then into the Western Atlantic. And that's really going to bring in some really nasty weather. Now, it's already somewhat cloudy and somewhat windy and rainy, but there's more to come. At this point in time, you can see here, and I'll switch over to the visible satellite imagery again, no real kink in the cloud coverage as of yet. We are starting to see some clouds moving in different directions. That low is beginning to just slowly form. It's going to then track to the east-northeast across Florida as we get into late Friday and especially on Saturday, and then just bring a shield of rain and very windy conditions, very stormy conditions for the vast majority of the Bahamas. The first thing I want to show you here is going to be this wind vector imagery. So it's going to be very clear to see here what's going to be happening with this area of low pressure. So I'm going to put this into motion, and you're going to see again the low developing as we get into tomorrow and then moving north and east. It's very clear to see the counterclockwise spin on these wind vectors. Now, both the GFS and the European models have a very impressive area of low pressure, less than 1,000 millibars in pressure, somewhere around 997, maybe as low as 995. That would rival a weak tropical storm or a subtropical storm for this kind of for this time of the year. So you're talking about strong 30, 35 plus mile an hour winds, very heavy rainfall, again, tidal surges. My friends in Florida, it's going to be a rough weekend. I'm included in that since I live here. But, you know, obviously this is then going to traverse and into the Western Atlantic, and we are going to get some rough weather for the Bahamas. So again, one more time, just clearly can see here this low deepening tracking right across the peninsula of Florida and then up into the western part of the Atlantic. All right, so let's go into the Bahamas right now. Basically, again, it's relatively cloudy. It's been somewhat windy. There's a little bit of rain right now, but there's a lot more to come. There's actually been some very heavy rain just towards the west, and that would include places like Bimini for the opportunity for some wet weather the remainder of this Wednesday. Some of those showers could easily sneak into places like Abaco and Grand Bahama and Walker's Key. And again, so kind of a flare-up of moisture ahead of this area of low pressure. So let's take a look at what's going to be happening here. I'm going to go back over to the wide range view here real quickly. Bear with me here. I'm going to have to switch a couple of things in the models. As we're doing that, again, I'd appreciate if you would like the video. Helps us out tremendously here at Meteo Mundo. We appreciate your support. So I'm going to switch back over to the reflectivity here, and I'm going to loop this up again, and we'll start a little bit broader, and then we'll zoom into the Bahamas. So again, here comes our low, deepening tomorrow. Just kind of a big shield of rain at first, but as it wraps up, much more classic looking rain in nature as it drives through Florida late Friday, especially on Saturday. And then here comes all of the rain and wind and stormy conditions for especially the central or the northwest Bahamas, but kind of all the Bahamas will get some active weather out of this as well. So let's stair step it. Let's go back. You can see here as we get into our Friday, that's when that first slug of moisture really begins to move in. Now the low itself should track north of the Bahamas, but that's not a good thing. It puts the Bahamas in the warm sector of the storm, more instability, a better chance for thunderstorms. We'll have to watch the opportunity for maybe even some water spouts, maybe even some severe storms rolling especially across the northern side of the Bahamas from Nassau, New Providence area, north to Grand Bahama, Walker's Key, Bimini included in on that. But a shield of very heavy wind and rain will be with us through our Saturday at least through the first part of Sunday before finally beginning to dry out as we get into Monday. So again, it's just going to simply be a very wet forecast ahead, but also a lot of other variables that go along with it. Let's loop this one more time. I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer here to some of the major areas of the Bahamas, and you can just get a good idea of what I'm talking about. So again, and I'm going to slow it down just a little bit here. Let's just stair step this because it's such an important forecast. Again, even tomorrow ahead of this, we're still going to get some rain, and it is going to be windy as well. And then you can see the rain is scattered on Friday and then really comes in Saturday and into early on Sunday with the excessive potential for the heavier rain. Now, as far as the wind goes, let's take a look at some of these wind gusts, because during this entire time, it is going to be extremely windy. All right. So you are looking at here again in knots, by the way, what the winds could be. And as you get towards the lighter pinks and the whites, these are 30+ knot winds. All right. And they're out there somewhat now. They'll be picking up more tomorrow and Friday, and then certainly on Saturday as the actual storm system comes through. So small craft should certainly consider remaining in port for a vast portion of the next 5 days, especially beginning on Friday and into Saturday. Again, with this, we could have some rotation. We could have some water spout issues. We're going to have high tidal cycles as well, where we could have some tide surges to deal with, maybe some inundation of low-lying areas throughout the Northwest Bahamas. So I'm talking about Andros Town in Nassau and Dunmore Town for my friends in Eleuthera, and Andros, Marsh Harbor, and High Rock, and Freeport, and Weston, and Lucaya, and Walker's Key, and the Allenstown area of Bimini. All of these areas, and this is a very broad system, so there's no reason to focus on one island over the other. This is going to encompass the entire Northwest and Central Bahamas at least. And again, finally on Sunday, we'll pull in some lighter winds out of the south, but extremely strong winds for the entire Bahamas here over the next several days. Again, really kind of maximizing on Friday and Saturday to go along with the storm system. So please keep this in mind. Again, it's not just one variable that I'm concerned about, it's multiple variables. And to go along with that would be the potential for some extremely heavy rainfall. So let's go out over the next 5 days and take a look at the rainfall potential here. Let me drop it back just a little bit through, let's say Sunday afternoon. So this is Sunday afternoon. These are going to be your rainfall totals from right now, from Wednesday afternoon until Sunday afternoon. So cumulative rainfall potential here, and we'll take a look at some of these spots. So let's start off with my friends in Grand Bahama. Towards the west end area, 5 inches of rain. Freeport, 4.5. High Rock, 3.5. So we're favoring the western side of the island. Now, as you get towards the coast of Florida, I can't tell you what problems this would cause if 8 inches of rain falls near Miami, because that area floods so easily now. It's so urbanized. From Fort Lauderdale down to South Miami, it would be a nightmare. We've had some of that recently, and that could happen again. 5.5+ inches of rain there. And again, you can see how widespread this heavy rain is. 4 or 5 inches of rain in Marsh Harbor, Dunmore around 4. The heaviest rain still Nassau and the northern sides of Andros. Now it does cut off a little bit farther south. So again, places like Georgetown and Clarencetown would be included for some pockets of heavier rain, but there's a pretty tight gradient. When you get back down towards the Turks and the Caicos here, you really start to dry out. There'll be some passing showers in the Turks and Caicos over the weekend, but nothing compared to what they're going to see up, especially into the Northwest Bahamas. And this is just a huge slug of moisture. Again, that low will rival a weak tropical storm or a subtropical storm for this time of the year. So my friends in the Bahamas, you need to be on alert for all of this. And again, it's not just 1 or 2 days. This is going to be a prolonged period of very bad weather. So let's look at the Nassau 5-day forecast for Thursday. So for tomorrow, a 40% chance for showers, very breezy. Weather just absolutely goes downhill starting on Friday. Heavy rain and storms on Friday. Heavy rain and storms, just an absolute bet on Saturday. We'll have at least some morning rain left over on Sunday, and then we will dry out. But it is going to stay extremely windy across the Bahamas over the next 5 days. That is not going to change. So again, boaters, please keep that in mind, and we'll have to watch out for some excessive tides as well. And I'll keep you updated here at Meteo Mundo. So that's a look at what's happening with the Bahamas, and there'll be a lot more updates to come based on that as well. Let's talk about my friends across the rest of the Caribbean. Certainly not going to forget you. Obviously, that's a big weather issue for our friends of the Bahamas, but there'll be a couple of other areas that I'll be monitoring here. Now, let's switch on over to the water vapor imagery, and we can see where the moisture is. Now, for my friends in the Lesser Antilles, we are beginning to dry out. Now, again, have we hit the dry season? We're not there yet. There'll be a few showers in the forecast over the next 5 days, but certainly you're more entrenched in the drier air, where we are starting to see some moisture return, and that's actually coming ahead of that area of low pressure developing in the Gulf, is going to be in the Northwest Caribbean, over Cuba, portions of the Cayman Islands, and then my friends in Jamaica. So pretty good moisture. It will spell some rain. We may not get extremely widespread rain across Jamaica, my friends in Montego Bay and Negril and Mandeville and Maypen and Port Antonio and Spanish Town and Kingston, but we will get some opportunities for showers over the next couple of days with just a little bit more moisture in play for us here. Now, on the heels of this, there is some drier air kind of nudging its way back in, but a nice little moisture axis right now that does extend back into the Bahamas, which is feeding into that low as it gets going. So let's take a look at the rain here. And again, we'll go back over the next 5 days. Give me one more second here to switch back over to our reflectivity. Once again, if you haven't and you want to do Meteo Mundo a big favor, hit that like button. You know, I appreciate it. It really helps us out here across the channel as we try and get more eyes on and help everyone out with the forecast across this area. So again, let's talk about the Northwest Caribbean, including the Yucatan into Cancun. How is that low going to impact us? Well, let's start off with the Yucatan, as a matter of fact. Now, most of the models keep that low and the development of it a little bit to the north, all right? We're still going to feed in a south wind ahead of this, so there's going to be some showers developing across Cancun and Cozumel. Again, it's been wet in that area. This low, as it pulls away, will actually bring some drier air into the region, which is good news. And you can see that moving up to the north and to the east. So you got a little bit of way. Oh. I'm literally ignoring that. I'm not going to stop the recording of this. It's a spam call. Why did I not turn off my phone? Oh, well. You know what? I record these as if they're live, so we can just pretend this is live television and that was a boo-boo. All right, so let's go back over. I just want to make sure it wasn't like my wife or something and I had to like immediately stop recording this. Good times, guys, good times. All right, so you can see this area of low pressure developing in the Gulf of Mexico, moving up to the north and to the east. And again, it's going to eventually dry out Cancun and Cozumel, but a couple more showers will be in the forecast at least through Friday, but getting drier for the weekend. We'll still see some rain for the Cayman Islands here over the next few days, but again, the moisture is being pulled away a bit there, but towards Georgetown and the rest of the Cayman Islands, at least some spotty rain. Now, for my friends in Jamaica, and I know it's been a hot, humid forecast. I hope you've gotten some of these downpours recently, although they've been isolated in nature. Again, you'll have some opportunities here. I'm just letting this run over the next 5 days, and you can see that there will still continue to be some moisture in play every day. So the opportunity for some rain will at least be there for Jamaica over the next 5 days. It'll be a little bit more concentrated, it looks like, on maybe late Saturday and into Sunday, maybe just a little higher chance overall for the island. But each and every afternoon, we're going to at least get a chance for some showers there. For my friends in Hispaniola, we're actually going to have more of an easterly breeze here. So again, the wind is going to favor the Dominican Republic side. You notice again that this moisture axis here will bring some spotty showers to the Turks and the Caicos, but kind of, again, just too far away from where the heaviest rain is going to fall. And that will continue to be the trend for my friends in, not in that area, because there's no one there, my friends in Puerto Rico and the U.S. and the British Virgin Islands as well. East winds will bring some spotty showers to places like St. John and St. Thomas and St. Croix, San Juan, and on over towards Arecibo, and Ponce could get scattered showers, but nothing extremely heavy. I already showed you how dry the air is overall, and you can see the spotty rain for the rest of the Lesser Antilles. Again, is it going to be completely dry in this area? Absolutely not. Are there going to be high chances of rain every day? No, I don't see that. We'll take a look at the northern sides of the area first here for the Leeward Islands, and again, Guadeloupe and Montserrat and Antigua and Barbuda. spotty rain with that east wind, maybe a little bit more concentrated on Saturday, and then again maybe on Monday as well. But I'm not going to put any one area over about a 30% chance for showers. Now, you get a little bit farther off towards the south, and for Martinique and St. Lucia and Barbados, a little bit more of a south wind coming off the mainland may spell a couple of showers there. But again, it's really isolated. We're going to get some downpours here and there, nothing that icy concentrated, no heavy big moisture access to go along with the rain there. And it's the same thing for Trinidad and Tobago and Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. There'll be a slightly higher chance in Trinidad, just simply based on where you are compared to the mainland. You can see, again, rain kind of developing. There's tomorrow. It goes north towards Tobago and Grenada on Friday. And then it's just really spotty Saturday and Sunday. Even in these areas, I'm not going to put more than about a 30% chance in any one day. And for the ABC Islands, it's even a little bit drier there. Again, could we see a couple of showers for Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao? Absolutely. Is it going to be heavy rain? Is it going to be any concerns for rain? No. Maybe you want it. Maybe you want a little cooling shower, help you out in the afternoon hours. You've at least got that opportunity. For Central America, it's actually a relatively quiet forecast. Again, there'll be some spotty rain. There'll be a little bit heavier shower activity off the coast of Costa Rica. But otherwise, again, we're looking pretty good here through the weekend ahead. So on the wide view, let's take a look at the potential rainfall totals. And we'll go back over that here. And let's see, I should just be able to click one button. There we go. So this would be through Sunday afternoon. All right. And again, there's our maximums up in the Bahamas. There's a little bit more heavier rain through portions of the eastern side of the Caribbean, but again, mainly off of the coast. Again, some of the areas that could get a couple of inches of rain include places like Trinidad, Tobago, and Grenada. So we'll take a look at that. And again, we're looking at, you get to the whites, you're getting around 2 inches of rain or higher, the grays as you get towards 3. So again, spotty heavier rain is possible there. Not much for St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Barbados. Again, with the east wind, we favor the eastern sides of Dominica and Guadeloupe and Montserrat, my friends in Antigua and Barbuda. Again, a couple of showers that could add up to a quarter to a half inch of rain over the next 5 days. The model's trying to put on a little bit more of a maximum, again, on the eastern shoreline of Costa Rica and then the eastern islands, including Culebra and Esperanza. But for Road Town and St. Croix, not a lot of rain. And again, it very much favors the eastern and the northern coastlines of the Dominican Republic for at least some spotty heavier rain. Not much rain for portions of the Turks and Caicos, just some passing showers. And then for the Kingston area around Jamaica, again. Now look, just offshore, you've got 1.5 inches of rain or more, and then off the east side, you've got 1.5 inches as well. So the model itself isn't showing as much over the island, but you get the idea that just more moisture around. So I would assume, based on what I've seen, that there will be some areas of Jamaica that get between 1 to 2 inches of rain over the next 5 days. All right, friends, so that's the latest here across the Caribbean and the Bahamas. Again, if you live anywhere in the Bahamas or you're traveling to the Bahamas, at least through Sunday, get ready for some very rough weather. It will get a little bit better early next week. It's still going to be quite windy out there. And obviously, I'll keep you updated here at Meteo Mundo about that forecast and across the rest of the Caribbean as well. Thank you again for liking the video. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe right now. I appreciate you. One other thing before we go is that you can follow us not just here on YouTube, but across all of our social media platforms. When you want the latest forecasts, you can see our handles there on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. You can always email us at myMediaMundo@gmail.com. If you have a specific question about the forecast, you can always drop it in the comments section below as well. And also look for a new Worst Weather in the World video coming soon to Meteo Mundo as well. Again, that's a separate video series where I look at the top 5 most recent worst weather or extreme weather events across the world. So we'll have a new one of those coming out shortly as well. Thanks a lot, friends. I hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday, and I will see you soon right here at Meteo Mundo. And I promise to turn off my phone next time.